We harvested hazelnuts recently at a friend's property where he had planted over 300 beautiful bushes a bunch of years ago. This was on his father's land in a big open field, and I asked him why he planted them. He said, "I'm not sure, but I just knew it was worth doing." It certainly is. It's beautiful out there, and we were able to go out and pick. A whole bunch of us went together and spent a day picking as many as we possibly could. So I'm going to take you along on what that looked like. It's a really nice space. You can see Sasha here plucking away and loading them into a bucket and then dumping that into a bag. And that's working really nicely as a system for picking there. That's our friend Michael. He and his partner Emily came and picked with us, and they're going to go back to Michigan with a whole bunch of lovely nuts once they dry down. And we'll show that process in a little bit. And of course, Juan is with us as usual, doing wonderful work with us. We've been working on projects together non-stop lately. So he even showed in another video how to decide if they're ripe or not. So check that video out if that is useful to you. And you can see here we loaded them into onion sacks as full as could be, and basically packed the car with our bodies and hazelnuts with almost no room for anything else. So good day all around for sure. Here we've got our drying racks on the driveway. We're initially dumping the hazelnuts out in a single layer or two on these racks and letting them get some sun. If we leave them like this, the rodents would take every last one, so we'll have to stack those. But we set aside some of the smaller nuts for the chipmunks and the squirrels to enjoy themselves, and they'll plant a bunch and have a wonderful fall too, so why not? We've got a lot of hazelnuts that have popped up because of little friends like this planting all over. So anyway, we've got around 28 racks. These are 2 foot by 2 foot and about 4 inches deep, 3 inches deep, filled to the brim. And once they get stacked vertically, they'll go into our garage with fans forcing air down through them to dry them. And so in the next stage, this is some hazelnuts that we collected a little ways ago that had a chance to dry. I'll take handfuls of them in the husk and throw them in a bucket dry and use a paint stirrer and a sturdy drill. It's the same system that we use for processing black walnuts, although with the black walnuts we do them in water. With the hazelnuts we do dry, and that little pot in there just keeps the hazelnuts from hopping out. Very simple system. So it's nice to have the same tools, the same racks that can work for all sorts of different crops. And that breaks the husks up a bit and makes it so that when we dump them out onto the racks, this is after they've dried for about a week or two, the nuts are a lot easier to pluck out of the husks. And if we're at this scale, we really need to have a system that makes it a bit easier for sure. And here Sasha, Michael, and Emily are enjoying the late afternoon and chatting and picking the nuts out. And that'll be the last step with all this, is to get them out of the husk and then to finally cure in those racks. And you can see these are racks that are pretty far along from a week or two ago, and these are the ones we just did with fans facing down, full blast, and little pads around them to keep the air focused vertically down through the stack. And this way we can cure hundreds of pounds of a crop without taking up a lot of space in our garage. And of course we'll leave some more little ones on the ground. If they're small enough to fit through the mesh, they're for the rodents.